Hey everybody, this is Mickey Williams with My Life Out Loud with Mickey. I'm coming back to you with another word. God gave me something good. Um, he gave me something real good. Something real good. It's like a word that's really been kind of it all works together for the word that he's been giving me for the last couple of weeks. Actually for like the last month. Okay. Um, so then I want to also say this morning I gave that little short word about, praying for your portion for the day, like keeping your faith strong. So if you're the type of person that you feel as though like, maybe you just got to go day by day, then go day by day. Some people can get a word on Sunday, it can carry them all week. But some people get a word, it carry them a couple of days. Some people get a word, it carry them for a day. It just depends on how intense your calling is. That's how I look at it. Like, the devil is really going to mess with people right now because a lot of people is about to get a breakthrough. So when you get that breakthrough, it's like a life-changing breakthrough. So he don't want us to get them breakthroughs, so he will mess with your life, okay? So if you can, just keep praying for your portion for today and it'll all work out. All right. So this word is basically coming out of Joshua, the first chapter. It's actually 1 through 24, but I'm starting out in the first chapter. I can't wait to see what God take me next. But so far, you all know, basically, this is the part where, the children of Israel are about to cross over into the promised land. So this came to me today. It was like, okay. I'm like, so I'm just like, okay, God, I got to do another video. He's like, well, go look up when they crossed over. When they crossed over to the promised land. I was like, oh, that's a good word because that just basically means it's a confirmation that some of us are about to cross over to the promised land. So I always say, I don't know who this word is for, but I know it's for somebody. Even if one person get it, then that's fine. So it started out, it was so exciting because it started out with, after the death of Moses, of course, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spoke to Joshua, to the son of Nun, who Moses' assistant, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Okay? So now that Moses was dead, now Joshua actually had to be the one to carry out the word to give to the people. Okay? So even as you're on this journey, you'll meet people along the way. It's not always going to be a Moses, but sometimes it might be a Joshua. It's not going to always be a Joshua. Sometimes it might be a Joseph. It might be a Isaac. It might be a Abraham. You know what I mean? But all the instructions are going to come. Like, God is not going to leave you on this journey without instructions and without word. So you're going to have somebody that's going to always be there to feed you as you go every step of the way. Right? Okay, so now he took me to 3 and so it's chapter 1 verse 3, and it states, every place that the sole of your feet, well, the sole of your foot will tread upon, I have given you, as I said to Moses, from the wilderness and this Lebanon, as far as the great river, the river of Euphrates. I be jacking the names up, y'all. All the land of Hittites, and to the great sea toward the going down of the sun shall be your territory. So this is at a point where he was letting them know exactly how much land they were going to get, how much land they were going to have. And then the part that really resonated with me was the fact that every place that the sole of your feet is what I got out of it. And I wrote it down. Every place that the sole of your feet tread, I have given you. Meaning that as you're walking in this next season, everything you do is going to be blessed. Everything you walk in is going to be blessed. Okay? So every step of the way is going to be a blessing after a blessing after a blessing. There's not going to be a room that you don't walk in that is not a blessing. There's not going to be a place that you don't walk in that you're not going to be highly favored. Okay? I don't care if you walk into the grocery store, you're going to feel the favor over your life. All right? Some people are already feeling it now. So this kind of is a confirmation word. So you'll continue to feel the favor of God on your life. So that's what the promised land is all about. This is where the people got to a point where they found favor. Okay? God favored them in this land. This was their land of rest. Okay? So that's what I got out of that. So that's that part. So keep that in mind. Everywhere your feet tread, everywhere your feet will walk, you will be truly blessed in this season. Okay? So The month of July is not over yet. And remember, every Monday is a breakthrough. Okay. So this week is a really good week for some people as well. You're breaking through some things. You're starting to see some other things clearly. This is a week of still breaking through, pressing forward, crossing over. Okay. So now we move on. So as we move on, we're going to go to first chapter, verse 7. Okay, so I kind of skipped through it. Now, this verse is basically, only be strong and very courageous, that you may observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded you. Do not turn from it to the right hand or to the left, that you may prosper wherever you go. So this basically was saying, for chapter 7, I gotta have courage as you travel to this next place. Only be strong and very courageous. Only be strong and very courageous. Okay? Only be strong and very courageous, meaning don't be discouraged. Don't be full of doubt. Don't be bitter, angry, frustrated because it's not what it looks like to you. Only be strong and courageous, because this is a crossover. So this means that God is ordaining this. This is something, the whole journey has been about you and God and becoming. So now that you're about to cross over, you got to know whose you are and who you are in this season. So when you cross over, only be strong and courageous. No more murmuring and complaining. No more crying and whining. You know what I'm saying? What's in your hand, Moses? Right? So this is that season where it's time to stand up in everything that you learned in the wilderness. Okay, so all the things that you learned along the way, you didn't go through, you grew through. So you was growing through, not going through. Okay, so now that you have got to a place where you're crossing over to your highest level of yourself, this is everything about to come into fruition that you learned along the way. So if you are being pruned and properly prepared, right? So this is your time where you're only going to be bold, strong, and courageous. Okay, strong and courageous. That's bold, strong, courageous. You know who you are. You know whose you are. Confidence, supernatural confidence. And it's spiritual. It's all spiritual, so it's all amazing. Okay, so that will be 7. All right. So now we're gonna move on. He gave me actually 1 and 8 as well. So we're gonna just move on to verse 8 of still first chapter. And we're on the 8th verse, okay? And then it's Joshua, it's in Joshua, okay? So this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. So that chapter. So what God was trying to say there, the word you have been given over the time you spent in the wilderness, the time that you were spent on the journey, meditate day and night, meaning everything you learned on the journey. Do not forget what God has taught you. Do not forget the word that has brought you to where you are. That's the word that you're going to keep. You're not going to change it. It's not going to change. I don't care if you go from $500 in the bank to $50,000 in the bank. The word stays the same. I don't care if you go from driving a Hyundai Elantra to a G80 Genesis. The word stays the same. So whatever you and God has been talking about, whatever you and God has been intimate about, whatever you said that you would do, continue to do that. Whatever God said he was going to do, he's going to continue to do that. So he's going to hold up his end of the bargain. You got to hold up your end of the bargain. Okay? So do not let the word change. It does not matter if you change faces and places. The word does not change. The same thing that you guys have been talking about the whole time, you and God, your angels, whatever type of journey you were on, is the same type of journey you're going to be on in this season. Now, everything is going to change because you're coming to a place where sometimes we get to a place. That's why God takes us through so many tests. Let me say that. The reason we get so many tests is because He wants to make sure and be sure that we know that he is still our God. Because sometimes we'll get so outside of just being like praying and going to God because we get so caught up the fact that he gave us the things that we wanted. So now that we got what we wanted, we feel like we don't have to pray as much. So then an obstacle come out of nowhere, and then you wasn't prepared for it, and you just like, oh, what just happened? And God broke you to your knees real quick because he's like, okay, you forgot to get on them, so let me put you on them. Right? You forgot to get on your knees, so let me put you on your knees. Period. That's what he's saying. And this season is a season of rest. And it's a season where you're walking into your promised land, meaning that all the things that God said that he would do, he's going to do, right? But then at the same time, you need to keep your promises to him as well. When you were walking, God, I'm going to do this. God, I want to do this. God, I want to do. Keep that same energy. That's what he's saying. Don't switch up. Keep the same energy. All right. So then we went on from verse 8 to verse 9. All right. So verse 9 was, have I not commanded you, be strong and of good courage. Do not be afraid, nor be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Come on. Let's go again. Have I not commanded you, be strong and of good courage. Be strong and of good courage. Of good courage. Do not be afraid. So in this season, you're going to run up on situations that is not going to look like, oh, what just happened? Don't be afraid. You're going to walk into rooms where you don't feel like you qualify. Do not be afraid. You're going to meet people and start relationships that you didn't even think you were capable of because this is just that season. Do not be afraid, right? You're going to be able to get that. Maybe for some people, you're going to be able to get that new house. You know, when the time comes, some of us has not had certain things. So therefore, you feel as though you start getting that undeserving feeling. No, go back. Keep his word. His word said that he will give you the desires of your heart. Okay? So if you're unsure about the house because maybe it's too much house or maybe it's not in the right neighborhood, then pray about that. But don't be afraid. Okay, if this is a season for some people to, join forces with their kingdom partners so that y'all can go on this mission ship together, right? Don't be afraid. And I mean, there's going to be a little bit of nervousness there, but don't be afraid. If God is allowing this, then his hands is in it. There's nothing that can happen because most people, they get their wife or they get their husband, and the first fear come upon them is that you're going to lose them. You get a house, you get a car. For the first time you get your dream car, your dream house, the first thing come upon you is you're going to lose it. That's fear. You're going to walk by faith, not by fear. Remember, they want the same. There's two of the same things, but you got to choose which one is everlasting. So faith is everlasting. So you want to walk by faith in this season, not by fear, because God is going to give you everything that you asked him for, but you cannot be too scared to the point that you self-sabotage it. Starting arguments with your mate, letting people use your car because you don't think you deserve it. So somebody come over like, let me use your car. No, you were supposed to leave them type of people in your last season anyway. I'm just saying, but things like that. Just know that God is with you every step of the way. It's going to be an awesome and amazing thing. It's going to change your life, of course. It's like coming out of the wilderness and walking, I don't know, like the promised land. Just imagine what that looks like birds flying everywhere, chirping, and the sun is shining. And I mean, just something glorious, right? That's what it's going to be like. It's going to be a whole 360 change, But the promised land was really the land that God had promised them for themselves because he had took them out of captivity in the land of Egypt. So basically, he had to get them to the land that he said that was just for them. He was giving them their own land, meaning like giving you your own deed, giving you your own bank account with your finances, your money, giving you your own. It was their land that they did not have to serve anybody. It belonged to them. They were no longer slaves or victims. You know what I mean? So therefore, this is the season where you're no longer going to have to basically be a victim in somebody's circumstances. This is the land that God has prepared for you, whatever your land is, okay? Whatever your land is, that's the land that you're about to inherit. Okay, it could be a person that's just, I said it before, just wanting to be out of an abusive relationship. You know, whatever your land is, your promised land is, that's the land that God is about to give you. Okay, so I don't know what land that is for you, but as it says, I wrote it down too. It says, this is not a time to be afraid, for God is with you. Wherever you go, the new place is ordained by God. Okay, so this new place is ordained by God. There's no need to be afraid. You know, there's some battered women that has not been out of these relationships for a while, and so they're scared. They don't even know how to go from there and start over. But just heed to the instructions. God will continue to give the same word that you kept with Him, the same covenant that He has with you is the same covenant He's going to continue to keep with you. It's not going to change. So as you journey, it might get a little, you know, intense because you've never been there before, but trust and believe that He's with you every step of the way. Okay, so moving right along, I'm at 15 minutes. So moving right along, he took me to verse 111, which was so amazing because that's 111, you know. And so 111, it says, pass through the camp and command the people, saying, prepare provisions for yourselves, for within 3 days you will cross over this Jordan to go into and to possess the land which the Lord God is giving you to possess. So within 3 days. So when I looked at that provisions, because then get your provisions together, right? Get yourself ready. Remember, I was like, stay ready so you don't got to get ready. That's the season you're in. Remember, I said you don't want to cross over and be depressed. You don't want to cross over and have done something that, you know, doing things that you know you really don't. And, you know, you want to have your stuff together in order, ready to go. Okay, because this thing is going to take place so fast, you're probably already walking in it and don't realize it because you're getting glimpses of it. Because I believe that if it was me and I was about to give you everything you want, I would give you a little bit at a time just to see how you're going to handle that little bit. And then, you know, but I'm not God. So some people, it might just be suddenly, boom, because, you know, you're ready. He trusts where you're at. He's not going to give you something that He don't think that you're deserving of or that He can trust you with. So wherever you are, you've probably been getting glimpses of it. And again, you probably get little glimpses of it. So you probably haven't really just paid attention to it. But just know that it's coming. And when it come in, it's coming in hot. I made a video that I was supposed to post and I hadn't posted, but it was like I was worshiping with God and then boom, the song came and coming in hot. And I was like, dang, just know. So this is coming in hot. Okay? It's coming in hot. To God be the glory, and you got to be ready for it. So I took it as I said, well, God, in 3 days. He said, really 3 days? He said, no, just tell him any day now. Okay? So he basically said it to me. I'm saying it to you any day now. It don't have to be the next 3 days. So don't be looking, oh, in the next 3 days. But just be prepared. You know, from this day forward, make sure that you're prepared for what God is about to do in your life. Do not veer off. And because you're tired of waiting, He put so much in you. You have enough to carry yourself through. Now, if you just want to just give up, then give up. That's up to you. But God is saying that you're there. You're right there. You're crossing the Jordan. Do you know what that means? What? What? You're crossing the Jordan. This is not the time. Now it's not the time to give up. Now it's not the time to give up. You know, if you was gonna give up, you should have did that like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3. I mean, that was still too close. But at the end of the day, if you're at the Jordan, I'm just saying. And I remember in my video, I said for some people, you might be at like it took them 40 years to get there. I said you might be at 30 years last week, but this year you might catapult the whole 10 years. You might be through the 40 so fast that before you know it, you wake up. And I ain't gonna say you wake up, you're a millionaire. Or you wake up and you're a celebrity. You wake up and everything that God has been doing in your life is all of a sudden goes just boom. And you're like, what just happened? The things that you did along the way, you didn't think they were working. But God had them somewhere set aside for a time such as this. You know, so it may not be good while it's working, but it's working for your good. So you're at that point that it's working for your good. So therefore, it's going to be some things that you didn't think could happen, but they're about to happen. Let me tell you that. Ah, that's good. You gotta have your vitamin C. All right, so moving right along, I'm at 19 minutes. Okay, so we know what that means. Be prepared any day now. That's what that means. Joshua 1:11, any day now. Okay? So just know you got to have your provisions in order. It tells you these are instructions. Got to have your provisions in order. And don't forget to be strong and of good courage. Do not be afraid nor be dismayed. Dismayed. Don't be dismayed. Don't be all over the place. Don't be dismayed. Be what God made you to be. Don't be dismayed. That's just my way of saying it. But anyway, so now we're going to Joshua 1:13, which was pretty deep for me too. So it says, remember the word which Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you, saying, the Lord your God is giving you rest and is giving you this land. So this is how God showed me this. This has been a long time coming, but God's promise to give you and possess what he has promised you, you and God basically had an agreement. That's how it was. And he's about to hold up his end of the bargain once again. So with God and his promise, and was to get you to your desire. So God's promise was to get you to your desire for you to be free, which is liberated. Come on, we already know. At peace. Come on, from all of that mental stress, right? All of those mental situations that put you in emotional distractions, right? So you're at peace, okay? So this is your time where God is going to hold up his end of the bargain, and then you're not going to be alone. For some of you people been struggling with being alone, this is going to be an amazing season for you, okay? So whatever your land is, again, that's what you're about to possess. So that's what I got out of Joshua 1:13. Whatever your land is, that's what you're about to possess. So moving right along. So we're going to get to Joshua. Our next one was going to be Joshua 1:14. And so we're going to move right to that one. Your wives, your little ones, and your livestock shall remain in the land which Moses gave you on this side of the Jordan. But you shall pass before your brethren armed, all your mighty men of valor, and help them, until the Lord has given your brethren rest. He gave you, and they also have taken possession of the land which the Lord your God is giving them. Then you shall return to the land of your possession and enjoy it, which Moses, the Lord's servant, gave you on this side of the Jordan towards the sunrise. Okay, so that was a little bit long, but let me break it down to the way God gave it to me. So 1:14. Now you have reached your promise, but you still got work to do. It's that simple. You reached your promised land, right? But he's still saying you still got work to do. You still got to go out there and get souls. You still got to go out there and preach the word. You still got to go out there and minister the word. You still got to go out there and share the word. You got to pay it forward, basically, right? So he's giving you what you asked for. You're getting the land, but you still got work to do. You got to go help your brethren, okay? You got to go help bring them in. Okay, I gave you what you want. I put you at peace. I gave you the promises that you asked for. Now I need you to go continue to do the work. Don't mean because I gave you the promises that your work is done. But at the same time, you'll be able to go rest. Okay? You'll be able to put, Lord something gave you. So then you shall return to the land of your possession and enjoy it. So you get to enjoy what God has given you, but he's saying you still got to do the work. Okay? So that's the blessing of that. Then it moved on to be open to the word of God, for he will give instruction. So that's going to be 16. So they answered Joshua, saying, all that you command us we will do, and wherever you send us we will go. Just as we heeded to Moses in all things, so we will heed on to you. Okay? So only the Lord your God will be with you. Only the Lord your God be with you as he was with Moses. Whoever rebels against your command and does not heed your words and all that you command him shall be put to death. Only be strong and of good courage. So what is God saying? Vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. You just continue to do what you got to do and what God will have you to do. He said clearly, only the Lord your God will be with you as he was with Moses. Only. Meaning that don't trust nobody in this season. I mean, if he give you a spouse, then that's your kingdom spouse. Your kids, them your kids. But as you were before, no. Everything you shedded to get here, he's saying, keep that same energy. Trust nobody but me. Be of good courage. Be strong. Trust nobody but me. Keep the word that I've given you, and keep our covenant. Don't keep the same energy no matter how high you get and no matter where you go. Just know that God, if God put you in that room, it's because He want to be in that room, not for you. Remember, you can't go in there trying to be, yourself. Like, I'm trying to, you don't have to capture the room. The room is already captured. That's why He put you in it. All you have to do is be observant, use your discernment, and then that way, that's how you're going to move. You're going to have calculated steps, okay? The footsteps of a righteous man is ordered by God. All your steps will be calculated in this season. And some people's already been calculated, so they already been in training. You already know how this go. A lot of us already has been through this time after time, season after season. So we know how to stop and heed to instructions, right? It's clearly telling you, heed to my instructions, basically. So when you go back and you look at all this, I just say, okay, that's it. I wasn't trying to make this a real long video, but usually when I get a word like this, I have to give it to you the way I'm giving it to you, because it's so important to understand what God is trying to tell you. And it's so profound. I just love the fact that even though He know what He put in you, He's going to confirm that thing and just continue to give you the instructions of how to move. That's awesome. So just keep doing what you're doing and don't stop doing that, whatever that is. Long as it's the way that you and God discussed, and long as it's the covenant you have with Him, that's what this word is basically saying. You're about to cross over any day now. So I'll go back just to go ahead and just, do a briefing. So we started in 3, every place that you sow, your features. So everything that you do in this season, everything that you touch is going to be blessed. Everywhere that you go, you're going to be highly favored. Okay, so then you move on to 7. Be of good courage. Only be strong. Don't be nothing else. Don't go into your weak mode. Don't go into your, oh, woe is me mode. Ain't no pity parties in this season. You are where you're supposed to be. You are there. You are going to see it. You're going to be favored. There's no need to go back and be afraid. Don't get discouraged. That self-sabotage is nothing but the devil. And we all know that he's a liar. So do not believe him. Just go straight to God. Get straight on your knees. Pray without ceasing. Okay? Keep your faith walk and your faith talk. Remember, you cannot run out of faith. Don't let your faith make sure it always continues to outdo your pain, because your pain is over. Some people pain has really been over for a long time, but I know it revisits when you hit a complication. Okay, so just keep your faith up with your faith walk and your faith talk. Stand up in it, be confident. And some of these things that's happening for people is going to bring on a different kind of confidence as well. So when God going to shine on you, I'm telling you now, I know how you're going to feel. You're going to feel like I feel, like, ooh, God done did it now. Like, ooh, can't nobody tell me nothing. The devil can't say nothing, no thing to me about God, about our God. You understand? So that's how you got to be. You got to be that strong. You got to be that courageous. Be courageous, meaning take the risk, because he's going to put you in some situations where you got to make a decision. And he didn't bring you this far to leave you now. So you got to be like, yeah, okay, let's go. All right? As long as I'm going with God, I'm good. That's how I feel. Like, as long as I'm going with God, I'm good. Because ain't nowhere I'm going without him. So, therefore, just know every move you make sure it's a calculated step. It's you using your discernment, and it's walking by faith. Okay, so that's going to be 3. Then we went to 7, and being encouraged all time, staying strong and courageous at all times, no matter what. Then we moved on to verse 8, and it was the word you have been given over the time you spent in the wilderness is the time that's spent on the journey. Meditate day and night, meaning that make sure you meditate on that word day in and day out. These are pivotal moments, you guys. So, this season is so intense that the devil want to be able to snatch it from you. It's like being on a 60-day probation or something. Them first 30 to 60 days is going to be so amazing. You're not going to understand it. You have to catch yourself, and it's okay if you got to catch yourself. Just make sure you catch yourself, right? And just know, what's for you, what's not for you. People is going to probably try to approach you because they see your light shining. Dark people walk towards lights. You know what I'm saying? What bugs do? What bugs do with the light shining? Bugs go straight for the light. Okay, so just be careful. You know what I'm saying? Just be careful is all I'm trying to say. That's how it's going to be for you. It's going to be that much favor, that much light shining off of you. And just remember who you in the room for, who you with. Who you with. That's all you got to remember is who you with. All right, so then now Going to back to verse 9, then we're going to go back over that. This is not a time to be afraid. So keep that in mind. This is not a time to be afraid. I reiterate, this is not a time to be afraid. This is a time to walk up in it. You marching right into your promises. This is not a time to be afraid, okay? This new place is ordained by God. So make sure that you know. You're not there because, somebody put you there. That's all I'm going to say. Like, you're not there. You know how you got your man or something, people that had their man and their man do stuff for them. And they be like, this is a different kind of confidence from what your man give you. This is what God is giving you. Okay, no man touch what God is giving you. Okay, so this is going to be a different kind of confidence. This situation is going to be ordained by God. Your man didn't put you through school and say, hey, okay, I put you through school, so now you can go do. No, this is ordained by God. So you got to walk in it and talking it like God did it. Nah, we ain't giving no shout out to nobody but God. Period. Only person you're giving shouts out to in this season is God. All the glory be to God. Okay? You wouldn't have made it this far without him. All the glory be to God. I know it's been some people that supported you along the way. But God, trust and believe. I know as a witness that God will load people's lips and load people's hearts to tell you just exactly what they need to tell you in order to keep you moving while you're on that journey. Okay? When you're on the mission, God will send people, as I said before. He will send people to give you instructions. And you don't even know. You're just thinking you're talking to your cousin and they just say something you need to hear. No, God wrote that there. Okay? God wrote that on that person's heart to give to you. So to God be the glory in this season. Okay? So moving right along. I'm at 31 minutes. So this is going to be good. I'm almost done. And then we went on to 111. That was 1819. So then we remember that 9. I want to make sure that we cover it all. Okay, it goes back to have I not. Okay, so yeah, that was 9. This is not the time to be afraid. Okay, so we went through that. We went through verse 8. Meditate on the word day and night. We also know that. Keep the word. Keep the word. Pray without ceasing. We got that. So then we move on to 111. Pass through the camp and command the people. Prepare for provision, meaning that proper preparation prevents poor performance. So you want to be ready. This is stay ready so you don't got to get ready. That's verse 9. It can happen any day now. Bam. So now you're going to move on to, I think we moved on to 13. 13 was basically, this has been a long time coming, but God promised to give you the desires of your heart and to possess what he promised you. Okay, so this is that time. So whatever your promises was from God, whether it was liberation, peace, debt free, to be debt free, to be financially free, have financial freedom. If it was a new job, to finally make your name great, whether it was a platform, whether it was a podcast, your ministry starting, whatever it is that God said, this is the time. Okay, so I'm so happy for you guys. This is gonna be awesome. All right, so now moving right along because I'm at 33 minutes. See, I'm doing good, y'all. I done went through this whole. So now you get to 14, and we back to how you have reached your promise, but you still have And now remember, you still got work to do. I'm just going back over this for you'll know. You still got work to do. You still got to go out there and do the works of God. You can't get to that chill spot and be like, oh, I finally made it. I get to rest my feet. Nah. You just at a place where you can be comfortable and still continue to do what you've been doing. But now God is showing you the fruits of your labor. Oh, let's go. He's showing you the fruits of your labor now. So because he's showing you the fruits of your labor, don't mean that you just get to chill and you done. No. No long lunch breaks. You get the fruits of your labor, and that should fuel you up to want to keep going. You should be ready. Like, let me tell y'all, God did when he said what he was going to do. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. And now this is really the time where you can really go out there and share your testimony and encourage people and be a light. So to help bring people out of them dark places that they're in, to show people. And it's going to be a lot of people that already know you and what you've been through and where you came from. So when they do see what God did for you, they'll be like, what? I mean, everybody got those people. And we call them haters. But really what it is just like people who have been through some things just like we have, and instead of choosing better, they chose bitter. So now I remember God showing me what a hater was, right? People that hate on you is people that just decided that they wasn't gonna do what you're doing. That's all. They decide I'm not doing what they're doing, or I'm not smiling like they're smiling. I'm not dressing like they're dressing. So, and then they don't think they're capable of it, and then sometimes they just hate on you because they don't even think, like they think you out of their league. Like they can't even have a conversation with you and never be their friend or something. Then when you gotta say, hey, how you doing? They be like, what? She spoke to me? You know what I mean? So regardless of all of that, that was a side note. We ain't gonna worry about nobody hating on nobody. All we know is that God is still we gotta love them. Whoever hating enemies, we pray for them. We love them all the same, no matter what. Straight like that. Okay, so you're in a place where you don't have to be subject to certain people and things, but you're still in a place where you still got to pray for these people, and you still got to continue to be a model home for these people, to show them what God can do in people, through people, and for people. This is that season. Well, it was like, oh, God, what God doing through me? Now it's gonna be what God did for me. Ooh. That's this season, okay? Look, and it's gonna kind of be like, look what God did now, but it's gonna be a happy moment. It's gonna be a true testimony of everything that you went through. Now you walking in. I mean, I'm talking about book signings. I see people signing books, baby. I see people signing books. I see people signing contracts, buying buildings to start. Oh, come on, God about to set up shop. He bringing his angels out. Y'all been hiding too long. He like, bring them out, bring them out. Bring them out, bring them out. Y'all coming out. That's going to be amazing. Okay, so boom. Now you have reached your promise, but you still have to do work. So you still got work to do. Be open to the word of God, for he will give instruction. So keep making sure that you're following instructions. It takes me back to that movie. I can't remember the name of it. They was in the diner. It was like some type of horror. It was really a horror for me because I try to guard my ear gates and my eye gates, but it was in this diner, and then it was about the angel Gabriel and then the angel Michael, and it was like where God wanted to end the world and humanity because he was just sick and tired of whatever people was doing. He was like over it, right? So what I noticed is that on his arm at the end of the movie, he had got this thing, and it was instructions. It was like words on his arm to tell him what to do, right? So all I'm saying in this season, that's you, basically. You're going to be, as you walk, you're walking in every room for God. You're meeting people for God. Your encounters are going to be of God. Your resources are going to be for God. Everything is going to be for God. So now you have to, before you make a move, before you make a decision, and you just want to be like, you frustrated so much, you don't understand what's going on. You've never been here before. And you're just like, yes, I'm going to do it. No, I'm not doing that. No. Nah. Stop. Pray about it. If you get into a place where you don't understand something, pray about it. Because you're not going to understand everything because it's not your way. It's his way. Okay? So therefore, Yahweh, his way, pray about it. All right? Well, that's all I got. So I hope y'all took this in. I spent 38 minutes on this. I didn't mean to. I wanted to do it so fast, but I'm getting quicker. But this was a whole chapter. It was really good because it was good for me. And I receive it for myself. And I pray that whoever this is for, that you receive it. It fills your cup. In the name of Jesus. I'm excited, you guys. I'm a little tired today because it's been a day. But let me tell you, I wasn't going to stop because God wanted me to give this word and I had to give it. So I hope you guys can receive it in the way that I gave it. And I know if it's for you, God will allow you to. He will open up your spirit and pour that thing right on in so that it can be able to, do what it needs to do so that you can get to where you got to go. And let me tell you, I'm excited. It's celebration time. Ow! Somebody about to celebrate. And I'm telling you, I'm excited. And this is a good season. And to God be the glory. And remember just to keep praying and asking God for your portion for the day. He told me that your portion for the day is to ask for what you know you need. Whatever you know you need that day to make it through that day, ask for that. God, I need my faith today. All of it, all day. I'm going to need to believe today. So help me with my unbelief today. I want to believe for the whole day, all day. That's your portion. Ask for your portion for the day. God, I want to laugh out of control today. Send people to make me crack up. Whatever it is, I just want to whatever your portion, whatever it is that you want from God for that day, ask for that. Okay? Ask for that and don't leave nothing out. If you're tired, tell him I need supernatural strength today, God. I need you to change my mind around. You know, I'm having some, I'm having some decision issues, or trying to decide on something, or I'm having some complications up here with my mental. Just this is the season just to be totally honest with him, because he already know that the devil gonna mess with you, because you guys, you the ones that are really just chosen and about to walk into this thing. Woo, I know the devil messing with your head, so that's why it's like it's okay. You got angels backing you up. You got all of heaven backing you up. So don't, and they ready. Like I said, they prepare for battle. It's what they do. They ride around and get it. Okay, so make sure you just praying up, praying up, praying up. I keep saying it. It's very important. Stop and pray. I know it's hard to do, especially for the independent, strong ones, because God made us that strong. So we think we just got to always just get through it, get through it, get through it. No, stop and pray. I'm telling you, it works. I used to do the same thing. I used to just go because I just knew I had a relationship with God. So I just keep going, going, going. And then next thing I know, I'm trying to figure it out. And God be like, why you just ain't coming to me? Like, why you just ain't coming to me? Ye of little faith, right? And I ran out of faith in the middle of the race. You know, it's not that I didn't have the faith, because faith brought me from state to state, place to place. I got big faith, you know, but it's the endurance of your faith. You know, you can run out of gas in the middle of the day. Pray. Ask God, hey, refill my faith. Like, come on. Stop. Get filled back up. Fill me up. Don't give me the singing. Y'all know I will. Till I overflow. I want to run. Oh, okay, I'm done. But I'm just saying, that's what you think that means? Fill me up. Till I overflow. Them songs, they talking about it. Listen, Linda. All right, I'm just being silly now because I'm sleepy. But I love you guys. Y'all have a good night. I hope this word really helps somebody. If it do, leave it in the comments. Y'all know what I'm talking about. All right. Have a good night in Jesus' name.